Out has publicly voiced his frustrations over failing to get an extension ahead of training camp and has been a, quote, hold in hopes of getting a deal done. Washington head coach Dan Quinn was asked about the tense situation. Let's hear what he had to say.
We love Terry. I'm really glad he's here. Hopefully he's out practicing soon. And we also understand there's the business side of this things that Adam and his side and Terry and his reps are working it through. So I just kind of, stay in that space. We recognize both are happening, but like I said, I'm really glad he's here. I love coaching him, and but the business side, that's kind of where it's at, and it's not somebody asked me as a distraction. It is not.
All right, RC, we know Jayden Daniels had a historic rookie season and took the Commanders to heights they haven't been to in over 2 decades. But can he repeat his rookie year if McLaurin isn't there?
He can be as successful, but it has to look totally different. Terry McLaurin can do one thing that no one else on this roster now can do, and that's run really fast and catch really, really far footballs thrown down the field. Right? And
Simply put.
Yeah, and so it would have to change. The problem to that, and Dan knows this, is that Jayden Daniels is an excellent deep ball thrower.
Yes.
Right? So if you would remove some of that from his game by taking away the best deep target on the team, it would make it a little more difficult. But that's where Cliff Kingsbury would have to come into play with some creativity. And I do believe Jayden Daniels, and I know Dan and D, y'all have listened to this, like listening to him talk now and who he's become as a person and a leader is so vastly different from last year. And I think he would have an understanding and a grasp of how to continue to get this offense rolling. But if I'm Adam Peters, if I'm Dan Quinn, and if I'm Cliff Kingsbury, there's no way in hell I find out if Jayden Daniels can do it without Terry McLaurin.
You can't trade him. You can't trade him. And this is one of the dumbest things that has been a part of the NFL this offseason. It's one of the most maddening situations that I have been watching this NFL offseason. It ain't that hard. And I've had people disagree with me on that, and it's not that hard. Respectfully, Washington, you were a dumpster fire for years. You were a laughingstock. The only thing good about your organization was that young man. Every year he did it, year after year after year, for like 5 or 6 years with disaster all around you. You were the only reason why anyone spoke somewhat positively about your organization. If you don't have them, you erase everything that you did last year. Everything that you did. And I'm being respectful to Dan Quinn and Adam Peters and what they did last year. You need him. Give me receivers that impact winning as much or if not more than Terry McLaurin. I'll give you like Jamar. I'll give you like Justin. Amon-Ra St. Brown. This guy, he impacts winning. This is a team that had 6 fourth-quarter comebacks, was ridiculous on 4th down. What are we doing in Washington? You finally have some good. And you finally have hope for the future. And you're trying to take away the one thing in your organization that before Jayden and this group got there was good. It makes no sense.
Actually, can I ask you this question? Can I ask you this question, right? If you are Adam Peters and you're Dan Quinn, and you have seen Terry McLaurin be successful individually throughout the years, but that not necessarily equate to team wins, can you sit back and say, you know what, a little bit of this is us. A little bit of this is the quarterback that we drafted out of LSU.
Sure.
Maybe it's not as much Terry McLaurin to them as it seems to you.
Before you answer, can I tell you a conversation? I agree with what you're saying, but can I tell you guys a conversation I had with the GM last week? He said, if you ask 20 GMs to pick between Terry and DK Metcalf, and money is no object, most of them are taking DK because of the age, the size, and DK's a freak. And this GM said he's a fan of Terry McLaurin's, but he said he's honestly probably a good 1B, 2A. You would take T. Higgins over that. I disagree. I agree with you. Let me be clear. I agree that T needs his money. But that's an NFL GM. And
that wasn't Adam Peters.
No.
Okay, that was okay. Oh, I thought that was Adam Peters for a second. I was like,
bro, if Adam Peters would have said that,
I would have led the show with that.
Okay.
No, but to the point about would they trade him? What's the market? That's a feeling about Terry McLaurin. So I don't agree with it, but I'm curious what you think.
Yes, there is a reality that they can say that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. You can't win without him. Not this year. Yep. Not the way you did last year, and not where your expectations are moving forward. No.
So you're saying that like Noah Brown, Debo, McCaffrey, respectfully, they ain't Terry.
Yeah, that GM's line of thinking gets you messed up in life, gets you messed up in building franchise, gets you messed up in marriage, gets you messed up in all things where you think about the market outside versus the market of what that thing means to you, right? So this the Draymond Green situation with the Warriors. The market for Draymond Green at another team may not be high, but what he means to the Warriors is championship level basketball. This is what we're looking at with the Commanders. The difference between competing and not competing is getting this guy signed and keeping him on your roster. So I don't care what his value is to the Eagles or the Cowboys or if they will sign him. What his value is to me is having Jayden Daniels while on his rookie contract in his second year getting a shot at a Super Bowl, and it is worth the extra money to make sure that you
here's why the conversation starts, though, right? Because the word is he's seeking a contract similar to DK Metcalf. And so the reason from Terry McLaurin's side is if you look at it statistically, it says I deserve that contract. Yeah. And then they're going to start making the comparables other ways. And a big piece of that is how a player makes you feel. It's the fact that DK is physically imposing and so forth. But Terry McLaurin has to do exactly what you said. But it's about what I do here. I do think there's a number that the Washington Commanders have to reach to make sure he's in the building, because the thing you don't want to do is offset any progress that you made as an organization last year or set your young quarterback back in any way.
That's a 7-win team this year without McLaurin. Now, if he's there, are they bona fide like NFC championship contenders again? Yeah, there's improvement that has to get made across your football team. That's how much he means to the team to winning. If I take Justin Jefferson off the Vikings, big difference. Jamar off the Bengals, big difference. DK's a really good player. There's no question about it. But we're also in that GM's kind of talking about Terry McLaurin like he's athletically me. Like, yes, DK, well, he's a freak. And the guy was in the valley with you and never complained. And all he did was put up numbers. There is some, and I understand it's a business, but there is some part that the really good organizations sit there and go, okay, maybe he's not 27 and the player that he was at 27. But God bless the human being and the dude and the way he impacts our lives.
But they don't know that person, right? Like Adam Peters and Dan Quinn doesn't know Terry McLaurin that figure out ways to play with Taylor Heineke. Right, like they don't know that guy. But all they know, but also
then he played with 13 different quarterbacks.
Coach Tomlin used to always tell me this, man. He was like, and you know it. He's like, I'll treat everybody fair, but I won't treat everybody the same. Sure. He said some people in this building have more deposits into my emotional bank account.
That's fair.
Right, Terry McLaurin.
That's fair.
When he is having those conversations, he can't say to Adam Peters, but what about when I did this?
22,
yeah. What about when I played like this? But like, how do I get paid for that?
To Dan's point, that's the difference between if you're going to decide if you're going to be the Commanders of the past or the Commanders of the future. You pay for those things if you're going to transition into being that type of franchise.
Jayden Daniels the next 3 years costs $31 million. You got enough money to pay him.
Yeah.
You got enough money.
And though, the smart thing is this, though. You have enough intelligence and maneuverability to be able to pay him in the right way.
Correct.
To make sure he's taken care of and you've secured your future, because you do know this $500 million contract you're going to have to negotiate with Jayden Daniels in 3 years.
Yeah.
You need to have money to do that.
That one makes me nuts, man.
So seven-win team without him. All right, coming up.